What up, what up? Whoop, whoop. Long time no see, in quotation marks. So I got a lot of stuff to post. Just gonna, throw it all up on the YouTubes for no reason. Starting off here with some high rep squats. I believe this was just 135 for a set of 10. The reason for this being, I started my temp job, I guess almost 2 weeks ago. It is as mindless and boring as I need it to be. I mean, it's exactly what I wanted. I don't want anything that's too stressful, that requires me to have too much responsibility. And yeah, it'll work now. It's a little bit of a bridge, a transition. So that means that 2 times out of the week, I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to train. Yeah, not fun. But the alternative is to not get in my reps, and that's definitely not gonna be a choice that I pursue. So I believe this was 135 for a set of, looked like it was a set of 12, and high reps suck. This was 115 for a set of 5, which felt really good. I ended up finishing off the bench portion of this template at this weight, even though I feel like I probably could have gone up a little bit. I'm seriously considering the next thing that I run being something that helps me focus on getting my bench back up, because man, I want those big girl plates back. Belt squats, 170 pounds, pretty easy, sitting in the stretch for just 6 reps because the template only called for anything between 5 to 10. And doing them at this rep scheme with that kind of motion was pretty tough, so I kept it there. Some deficit RDLs, 185 pounds. This was last week's, I think it was. And yeah, I felt pretty good about these. The stretch is where I want it to be. If I go too low, what ends up happening is that my shoulders round over too much, and I want to keep my shoulders back. I want to keep my shoulders back, keep a little bit of Nordic curve, and try to keep my knees as straight as I can. Although that's not always possible, but the straighter you keep them, the more you get that hamstring stretch, and the more you can feel that those things are working. I've enjoyed doing RDLs more than I thought, but I'm really looking forward to picking up a program again that lets me deadlift from the floor, because I miss it. This was 145 pounds for a set of 12, done at 5 in the morning. So yes, I wanted to die afterwards. Did 3 sets of 12, I think it was. So yeah, it was a lot of reps for this early in the morning, and I'm proud of myself for just getting them done. Because as I've said, and I know anybody who trains knows, it's not always about the number that's on the bar. There's a time and a place for going heavy and for trying to kind of come close to those PRs and just sending it. And I have all the respect in the world for people who can do that and recover well and continue to train. It's just not something I do. It's just not what I'm here to do. So even this, though, at 145 pounds for 12 reps, I think that's the most that I've ever done this weight for volume for 3 sets of 12. I've done pause reps at that rep scheme for a template that I ran, and that sucked too. But it was only for a rep out set. So it'd be 2 sets of 8 at 145 with a rep out set that I managed to hit for 12. And that was a long time ago. So this was, this was pretty impressive for me. I was happy with it, especially because it was so early in the morning. All right, and here was the bench for that day, which was 115 pounds for a set of 6. First few reps looked okay, but then as they started to get a little wonky, you'll see here that the 5th and the 6th rep, my crookedness really kind of comes into play, and it is a little bit weaker. I had to reset to get that last rep in, but actually that was the 5th rep, but here comes the 6th rep. The cool thing is that I don't rush it. The problem is with rushing is then you miss groove and you miss the whole set. So I didn't give up on it, and I got it. The other set of belt squats that I've done recently, went ahead and got 2 plates on these bad girls, 180, which was pretty good for me. Same thing, sitting in the stretch, just kind of getting low and 180 pounds for 6 of these feels horrible. I did 3 sets this way, and then the last set I just dropped it 20 pounds and did a set of 8. Some seated OHP. I mean, if you've watched my videos, you've heard me say this a million times. I don't know how I feel about this movement. I like overhead press, but I don't know that seated overhead press really, that I get much out of it. I feel like it's a little bit more challenging in terms of like the stability, even though that's not supposed to be the case, I don't think. But the choice was between this and dumbbells, and I can do these a little bit heavier with barbells as opposed to dumbbells. I have one more set of these to do for this program, but they are at a lower reps and reserve scheme, so they won't be that heavy. So this is fun. This was the last set of squats that I've done for this program, and I screwed up. I thought I was supposed to do 4 sets. I was only supposed to do 2 at like reps in reserve for like 4, so like RPE 6. I fucking did 4 sets of 15. So 60 reps at 135 pounds, which is not heavy. You'll even see it, like, even at the end of this set, none of it moved poorly, although this was my last set, and by this point my back was fried. I was ready to be done. And now that I know that I misread the program and just screwed myself, I feel even more dumb. Like, wow, no wonder your back feels like shit. You're working harder than you're supposed to. But hell, whatever, I did it. And that is definitely a rep PB. I have never in my old ass life squatted 135 pounds for 15 reps without having to. It wasn't hard. It also just wasn't, well, I mean, it was hard. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't hard in the sense that it wasn't too heavy. It just, oh my God. At the end of it, I thought like I was going to cry because it was just a lot. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with myself, even though it ended up being a total mistake. Sometimes it happens. You should be reading your program. I screwed up and I didn't, but the result is that I got some pretty interesting work done. This was the last bench press for this template. 115 pounds for a set of 7. It moved okay. I'm not wild about bench, but I think I would like to see these numbers go up. I want to be able to hit this for like a solid set of 10 on any good day, and then start getting closer and closer to hitting 135 again. I feel it's in there. I just got to stay injury free, take care of my shoulders, and yeah, I'm gonna make it happen. I believe in us. That's my new kind of goal. Also, too, this was the same day that I did those 1 million squats. So by the time I got to this, which was the deficit RDLs, there was not a lot left. So even though theoretically I could have gone a little heavier on these, I just stuck to 155 pounds and did them 3 sets for sets of 2 sets for 155 pounds at 8, with one that I did 175 pounds for a set of 6. But as soon as I picked it up, it felt super heavy, and I thought, I'm not going to push this. And now that I know that I didn't have to because I only had to do 2 sets, even more reasons for me to feel stupid. But yeah, so 155 pounds for these was pretty acceptable. The form wasn't great. I think I would have liked for my knees to have stayed a little bit straighter. My shoulders were definitely slumping because I was just so exhausted by this point. But, got them done. Yeah. Not a lot to say about them. I kind of turned this whole day into like a tiny SBD day, as you can't tell. All right, so this was today's training. More mistakes. These were only supposed to be for 2 sets. Same thing, reps in reserve, 4. But fuck it. You see what I did there? I did rows with the whole damn stack. That's right. Sets of 15 with the entire stack. That was the last set, but still. I almost don't care that I read the program incorrectly, because fucking A, man. That's like a dream come true. I never would be like, okay, cool, Tiffany, you're gonna like row a whole stack on a cable machine. And I did that shit. It's not the heaviest cable machine, but it's still pretty cool to do that, even if it was a mistake. I know now, though, for the last 2 days in this program, it's only got to be 2 sets, because this is basically supposed to be like a deload week for the last week of the program. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for the last 2 days that I train, just to give myself, I guess I don't want to burn my body out. I'm definitely going to take a week or two after I finish this program to just do some light stuff and then get back into maybe some power building. And that's going to require a little bit more, effort than not that hypertrophy isn't requiring a lot of effort, but it's a different animal to train and above 80% of your maxes for sets of 3 or 5 or whatever. So we'll see. You guys like my get up? I put some shorts over my leggings because my leggings were ripping. So that's what you do when you're broke. You just start to layer your shit. All right, cable curls. These were pretty easy. Well, they were okay. I did 20 reps at just 20 pounds. I've never gone super heavy with these, just because I've always wanted to kind of focus on the form and the technique, as opposed to just getting heavy and doing curls that only focus on the peak contraction of the curl, which is what I mostly see people do, especially with cable curls. And I'm finding that yes, the evidence-based people are right. Your curls give you more bang for your buck when you are focusing on the stretch. And even though I have fat, flabby old arms, you're never going to see my biceps. I have I have seen some actual growth in my biceps. I have a couple of shirts that I have to wear, and holy shit, they're tight. I've got some growth in my shoulders and biceps. It's amazing. I love it. Still don't like bicep curls though. I think they're super boring, and it kills me sometimes to see people that can do 8 variations of bicep curls at the gym and call that a session. All right, and my other least favorite, the tricep overhead extensions. But that said, I actually really enjoyed these today. The heaviest I went on them, I, again, don't go super heavy. This was 40 pounds for a set of 15, and the last set I just went ahead and went with 45 for a set of 12. But I'm trying not to lock out at the top, but keeping the stretch of the tricep and the movement and getting as far down as I can. I need to really work better at bringing my elbows in, but I lose my train of thought while I'm doing the movement. That's I guess my only cue for myself. I need to figure out some kind of cue to be I don't know, squeeze my head or point forward. But once I can really get the form down on these that much more, I'm actually enjoying them. Training triceps is never going to be something I enjoy doing, but these have become my least hated movement when compared to bicep curls. Last one, cable lat raises with wristy cuffs, which I bought from Amazon. And I'm holding on to a fat grip handle because I couldn't find the yellow lacrosse ball. I stole Jeff Nippard's idea about using a cue when you do these, and it does kind of help. And I found that doing them behind my back and reaching over the other side of my big old butt is the best way for me to cue myself to kind of focus on getting that stretch on the delts. Same thing, not super heavy. I think this was for 15, and I did 12 reps, so 2 sets of that scheme, and then I did one last set for 15 at 10, all of which was superfluous after I found out that I was only supposed to do 2 sets. But what are you going to do? Shit happens. All right, that's it. Lots of babbling, lots of training. Still out here, hitting the gym, trying to stay sane, and what would I do without heavy weight? I don't even know anymore. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're out there still training, and if you're not, why not? Let's get strong so that way when our fascist overlords come for us, we can kick them all really hard in the dick and tell them exactly where to go. Okay, thanks for watching.